You're a lifesaver, Mercedes. Could you help me tend to this soldier's wounds next?
Lady Mercedes, where would you like me to put this?
Oh, yes, just a moment, please.
You really have your hands full, Mercedes. Anything I can pitch in on?
Oh, goodness. I appreciate your offer, but I couldn't possibly ask you to take time out of your day to assist me in these tasks.
Hey, don't be like that. Anyone who's still got the legs to stand on after a battle needs to do whatever they can to help. I'm no physician, but I can at least help get some of this stuff organized.
But you only just returned from combat yourself. Aren't you exhausted?
Nah, not really. We weren't on the front lines or anything, so I'm still good to go. And I'm not buried in paperwork afterwards, unlike the others.
Well, if you insist, I guess a little help wouldn't hurt. In that case, there's a box over at the training grounds. Would you mind getting it? There should be bandages and medicine inside, so you'll be able to tell which one it is just by opening the lid.
Got it. Be right back.
Oh my, wait just a minute.
What's up?
Give me your right hand.
Okay.
I knew it. You're injured. Here, I can patch this up in a jiffy with my healing magic.
Whoa, it's all better. Thanks, Mercedes.
You need to speak up from now on if you're hurt, all right? Don't be so nonchalant about your health.
Hey, I could say the same thing about... Actually, never mind. Anyway, it should be easier to carry that box now. Thanks again, Mercedes.
No, thank you for offering to help. Oh, and take all the time you need. There's no rush. That should be everything in its place now.
And high time we took a break, if you ask me. Lugging all those boxes was hard work. Hey, why don't you join me for a meal? Might be nice to head into town for once.
I'm not that hungry just yet, though. Oh, I've got it. If you'd like, we could have a tea party. I have a cache of delicious treats we can eat as well.
Sure, I guess I could go for some tea. Where'd that idea come from, though?
Well, I received some sugar recently as a gift from one of the soldiers I mended back to health. I used it to bake the most wonderful confections. I'd love for you to try them.
Huh, that does sound good. And a little something sweet once in a while never hurt anyone.
Then we're settled. Give me just a moment, I'll get everything ready.
Whoa, these are incredible. I've never had anything quite like them before.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm particularly happy with how those turned out.
It does actually taste kind of familiar, though. Almost like this snack my mom used to make.
Really? You don't say.
Yeah, I was raised in this little village off in the mountains, absolutely surrounded by nature. Sometimes Mom would go out and gather fruit from the trees, then bake things with them.
There's nothing better than a dessert made with fresh fruit. I love them myself. You can knead them into dough and bake them, or preserve them in honey so they can be enjoyed the whole year round.
My mom's stuff was never quite as fancy as the things you make, but they were special in their own way. And even though we didn't have them too often, just one hint of that flavor and it's like I'm a kid again. Guess they were just that good.
It's wonderful you have that memory to look back on. I can tell the time you spent with your mother was very precious to you.
For sure. Though I don't remember it too well anymore.
Can I ask you something? Do you ever wish you could return to the past? To those days with your mother?
It would be great to go back if I could, yeah. We'd have so much more to talk about now that I'm older. But the past is the past. My mom is gone, and there's nothing I can do to change that.
Yes. Yes, I suppose you're right.
Hey, what's wrong? Was it something I said?
Oh, my apologies. I must have been daydreaming for a moment there. Here, try this one next. I made it specially to pair with the tea.
Sure. Thanks.
Today's training was a total mess. My feet are killing me.
We need to stay in peak shape, though. You never know when we might get tossed into a battle.
True. We've got to be ready for anything.
Mercedes? You daydreaming again? I've gotta say, you've been acting all kinds of weird lately.
Have I? I feel perfectly fine, I assure you.
You sure? Back when we had that tea party, you looked so, I don't know, sad.
I suppose I can't hide anything from you. Things like tea parties with dear friends or seeing the trainees work so hard to improve. It reminds me of how things were before the war, if just for a moment.
You mean back at the academy?
Yes, and before that when I lived with my mother and my little brother. It also reminds me of the time I spent studying with friends at the School of Sorcery in the capital. Things may not have been easy then, but I would give anything to return to those days.
Huh. I don't think I've ever seen you get this sentimental about something.
The feeling surprises even me. All my years, I've gone wherever the current of life chose to sweep me. In truth, I used to think nothing ever went precisely how I wanted it to. But looking back now, I realize just how joyous all those moments really were. And yes, I'm aware it isn't good to dwell so heavily on the past, but I can't seem to help myself.
There's no going back in time, though. It's better to focus your energy on the things you can control right now, in the present. Sure, we're smack dab in the middle of a war, but that doesn't mean you can't find joy in your day-to-day life. So keep pushing, and make the kind of decisions future Mercedes will look back on and be proud of.
Thank you, truly. You're such a strong person.
Still, you shouldn't keep all your emotions bottled up like that. We might not go back to the peace of the old days anytime soon, but we can still have tea parties. I'm always here to listen if you ever need to get something off your chest, Mercedes.
You mean that? I'm so glad to hear it. In that case, why don't we have one right now?
Sure, I don't mind. But why now?
Because I used the money I'd been saving up to buy some more ingredients. Remember how we were talking about all those different kinds of delicious fruit desserts before? Well, I went ahead and whipped some up.
I could never turn down an invitation like that. Can't wait to see what you came up with.
You're a lifesaver, Mercedes. Could you help me tend to this soldier's wounds next?
Lady Mercedes, where would you like me to put this?
Oh, yes, just a moment, please.
You really have your hands full, Mercedes. Anything I can pitch in on?
Oh, goodness. I appreciate your offer, but I couldn't possibly ask you to take time out of your day to assist me in these tasks.
Hey, don't be like that. Anyone who's still got the legs to stand on after a battle needs to do whatever they can to help. I'm no physician, but I can at least help get some of this stuff organized.
But you only just returned from combat yourself. Aren't you exhausted?
Hey, I could turn that question right back on you. You were there fighting with us that whole time.
I suppose that's true. But are you sure you don't mind lending a hand?
Sure as anything. Just tell me what to do, and I'll be on it before you can even blink.
In that case, there's a box over at the training grounds. Would you mind getting it? There should be bandages and medicine inside, so you'll be able to tell which one it is just by opening the lid.
Got it. Be right back.
Oh my, wait just a minute.
What's up?
Give me your right hand.
Okay.
I knew it. You're injured. Here, I can patch this up in a jiffy with my healing magic.
Wow. It's all better. Thanks, Mercedes.
You need to speak up from now on if you're hurt, all right? Don't be so nonchalant about your health.
Hey, I could say the same thing about... Actually, never mind. Anyway, it should be easier to carry that box now. Thanks again, Mercedes.
No, thank you for offering to help. Oh, and take all the time you need. There's no rush. That should be everything in its place now.
And high time we took a break, if you ask me. Lugging all those boxes was hard work. Hey, why don't you join me for a meal? Might be nice to head into town for once.
I'm not that hungry just yet, though. Oh, I've got it. If you'd like, we could have a tea party. I have a cache of delicious treats we can eat as well.
Sure, I guess I could go for some tea. Where'd that idea come from, though?
Well, I received some sugar recently as a gift from one of the soldiers I mended back to health. I used it to bake the most wonderful confections. I'd love for you to try them.
Huh, that does sound good. And a little something sweet once in a while never hurt anyone.
Then we're settled. Give me just a moment, I'll get everything ready.
Whoa, these are incredible. I've never had anything quite like them before.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm particularly happy with how those turned out.
It does actually taste kind of familiar, though. Almost like the snack my mom used to make.
Really? You don't say.
Yeah, I was raised in this little village off in the mountains, absolutely surrounded by nature. Sometimes, Mom would go out and gather fruit from the trees, then bake things with them.
There's nothing better than a dessert made with fresh fruit. I love them myself. You can knead them into dough and bake them, or preserve them in honey so they can be enjoyed the whole year round.
My mom's stuff was never quite as fancy as the things you make. but they were special in their own way. And even though we didn't have them too often, just one hint of that flavor, and it's like I'm a kid again. Guess they were just that good.
It's wonderful you have that memory to look back on. I can tell the time you spent with your mother was very precious to you.
For sure. Though I don't remember it too well anymore.
Can I ask you something? Do you ever wish you could return to the past? To those days with your mother?
Not really, no. Besides, even if I wanted to, it's just not possible.
Yes. Yes, I suppose you're right.
Hey, what's wrong? Was it something I said?
Oh, my apologies. I must have been daydreaming for a moment there. Here, try this one next. I made it specially to pair with the tea.
Sure. Thanks.
Today's training was a total mess. My feet are killing me.
We need to stay in peak shape, though. You never know when we might get tossed into a battle.
True. We've got to be ready for anything.
Mercedes? You daydreaming again? Gotta say, you've been acting all kinds of weird lately.
Have I? I feel perfectly fine, I assure you.
You sure? Back when we had that tea party, you looked so... I don't know... sad.
I suppose I can't hide anything from you. Things like tea parties with dear friends, or seeing the trainees work so hard to improve. It reminds me of how things were before the war, if just for a moment.
You mean back at the academy?
Yes, and before that when I lived with my mother and my little brother. It also reminds me of the time I spent studying with friends at the School of Sorcery in the capital. Things may not have been easy then, but I would give anything to return to those days.
Huh. I don't think I've ever seen you get this sentimental about something.
The feeling surprises even me. All my years, I've gone wherever the current of life chose to sweep me. In truth, I used to think nothing ever went precisely how I wanted it to. But looking back now, I realize just how joyous all those moments really were. And yes, I'm aware it isn't good to dwell so heavily on the past, but I can't seem to help myself.
And that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with getting sentimental. Nobody's gonna judge you for reliving one or two good memories every now and then.
Thank you, truly. You're such a kind person.
Still, you shouldn't keep all your emotions bottled up like that. We might not go back to the peace of the old days anytime soon, but we can still have tea parties. I'm always here to listen if you ever need to get something off your chest, Mercedes.
You mean that? I'm so glad to hear it. In that case, why don't we have one right now?
Sure, I don't mind. But why now?
Because I used the money I'd been saving up to buy some more ingredients. Remember how we were talking about all those different kinds of delicious fruit desserts before? Well, I went ahead and whipped some up.
I can never turn down an invitation like that. Can't wait to see what you came up with.
Ah, Mercedes. Did you go out?
Yes, I went to the town of Camulus to help the church.
I see. And how did you find it?
The townspeople seemed fine enough, but the clergy were very busy. As you know, lots of people fled to Fargus when the war started. And while a number of towns took in refugees, Camulus is particularly busy on that front.
In that case, I should send reinforcements and resources from the capital. I will speak with Lady Rhea about this presently.
Thank you, Dimitri. I'm sure the clergy will be pleased to hear it. I'm incredibly grateful to you for coming to the church's aid, you know. Most of those people would have ended up homeless if not for your actions.
As I recall, you fled from the Empire yourself at a rather young age.
Yes, and it was awful. We had nothing to eat and nowhere to shelter from the wind and rain. If not for the priest who helped us, I don't know what would have happened. Are you all right, Dimitri? You seem sad.
My apologies, Mercedes. But may I speak plainly?
You don't need my permission to do that, silly. What's troubling you?
I have been wondering for some time if accepting the Central Church was the correct decision. By giving them shelter, I have also given the Empire the perfect excuse for invasion.
You took them in because you thought it was the right thing to do. Isn't that so?
Yes. The Church of Seros is deeply entwined with the kingdom's history and politics. The Crown's authority is granted by the Church, which also takes part in governing our villages. Were I to sunder that connection, nobles and commoners alike would be furious. The kingdom would be split anew, and chaos would reign.
That is a tough one. It seems like you're going to end up with a fight no matter what you do. Well, at the very least, I know the townspeople are grateful. But I also know it's not as simple as all that. I'm sorry. That probably didn't do much to help ease your concerns.
No. I should apologize for making you listen as I prattle on endlessly.
Oh, nonsense. If it helped you in any way, I'm glad to do it.
Well, I certainly do feel better. Thank you, Mercedes. And please know that I am here for you for whatever reason, no matter how small. Is it much further, Mercedes? We'll likely need to rest soon.
We're just about there. See? It's right over that hill.
I had no idea there was a village here.
Actually, I used to live in this village once upon a time. You can see the church where I stayed in the distance.
It is a place of stunning beauty and quiet. It almost feels like coming home somehow.
Oh, Mercedes! It's been so long! Come to visit your mother, have you?
It has been a while, hasn't it? And no, I'm mostly here to show my friend around.
My, what a handsome young man! Are you with the Knights of Seros?
What? Oh, no. I'm the kingdom's... I'm a member of their army.
You don't say. Guess that means you work closely with our Mercedes here. Well, if you've got the time, go pop into the church. I'm sure the priest and little ones will be delighted to see you.
Absolutely. Also, I do want to say hello to Mother, since we've come all this way.
I always find it nerve-wracking to meet friends of friends.
Oh, she's harmless. She works over at the church. My mother and I owe her a lot. There are many people there who share similar circumstances to our own. Too many, I'm afraid. Still, the priest accepts anyone and everyone who comes to him for aid.
Such open-mindedness is rare in these times. I wonder if it's because of the church's teachings.
You know, this village would look very different had you not accepted the central church.
Well, I've heard the most unpleasant rumors about the southern church, and I don't know how to govern all these villages myself.
I realize you know far more than me when it comes to things like politics and war. But I still thought it was important for you to see what you're protecting with your own eyes.
Which is why you insisted I accompany you. To be honest, I have no idea how the war will change Fodlan. But I will do everything in my power to protect this place, and all others like it.
Thank you, Dimitri. Let's head on over to the church. There are some wonderful views on the way there. There are fields of flowers, beautiful brooks. Goodness, so many things I want to show you. Oh, and I need to say hello to my mother and the priest while we're at the church.
I suppose I should give them my regards as well. Considering I hold your life in my hands as your commanding officer.
My, you're so nervous. Perhaps you should let me handle the introductions. I'll just tell them you're someone very important to me.
Wait, Mercedes. That may lead to some untoward conclusions.
Sorry, it was just a joke, I promise. I didn't mean to fluster you. Still, I much prefer this Dimitri to the scowly one I always seem to see.
You are a master of catching me off balance, Mercedes.
Mercedes, got a sec?
Hello, Caspar. What do you need?
I wanted to ask you something about Professor Yuritsa. He's your little brother, yeah?
Yes, that's right. What of it?
Nothing. Except that I've challenged him a bunch of times and he keeps wiping the floor with me. So I thought maybe you might know some special way I could train to beat him, seeing as you're his sister and all.
A way to beat Yuritsa. Oh, I have it.
All right, lay it on me.
Here, follow me.
I don't think this is going very well.
Please allow me. There, see? If you do it like so, it's actually quite simple.
Yeah, that's actually... Wait, no! How is baking supposed to help me beat Professor Yuritsa?
Because we're making treats.
Oh, I see. Again, no! How does that help? Unless... Hang on. Are these actually magic treats that fill me with unimaginable strength? I don't want to win like that. It's cheating.
You're so amusing, Caspar. But no, there are no magical treats that do such a thing. Look here. They're almost done, so watch what I do very carefully.
Whoa! These look amazing! But again, and I hate to keep repeating myself here, how does this help me beat Professor Yuritsa? Is there some kind of terrible secret in the method? Black magic in the brown sugar, maybe?
Oh, Caspar, there's no secret. Yuritsa has loved sweets for the longest time, but he's terrible when it comes to making them. So if you can make a better sweet treat than he, I'm sure he'll be vexed and acknowledge his defeat.
I'm trying to beat him in combat, not baking! I lost to Yuritsa again! How can I beat him?
Let's see. What if you made all the cats in the base like you? Yes, I think that's a wonderful idea.
Don't pop up out of nowhere and scare me like that, Mercedes. It's not nice. And wait, cats? Liking me? What?
Yuritsa has adored cats ever since he was little. But now they always flee when he approaches. Perhaps it's because he's so much bigger? In any case, if he saw cats being affectionate with you, I'm sure he would acknowledge his defeat.
Again, not the kind of win I'm aiming for here. Look, it's simple. I want to fight the guy head-on and beat him. That's it.
But head-on isn't the only way to fight, correct? I mean, surely that isn't your strategy on an actual battlefield.
Wish it could be, but yeah, that's probably not the smartest idea in the world. But since this isn't a battlefield, it's up to me how I want to fight the guy.
Yet I feel that going up against him would be the same as being on a battlefield. You're companions who fight for the same cause. Why would you hurt one another to decide the outcome of the day? Wouldn't it be nicer to compete by baking treats or being loved by cats?
I mean, I get what you're saying, which is weird.
Then how about we spend today surveying cats and continue our baking lessons this evening?
I didn't say I agreed. I just said I got what you were saying and that it was weird. How'd she trick me into baking again? What am I gonna do with all these things? Huh? Where'd Mercedes go? Ah, it's Professor Yuritsa! Maybe I can challenge him again. Wait a minute. Those are the treats I made.
Utterly delicious. He made these? I am defeated.
Wait, what? I can't believe Professor Yuritsa just admitted defeat so casually. This is great, but also very frustrating, but also great and so conflicted. No, I want to beat him head on!
Me! Teach me how to cook next.
All right. I will teach you a special recipe that is certain to delight everyone back at the church.
His Majesty is looking for you, Mercedes.
Goodness, whatever was that about?
My apologies. I have a tendency to frighten animals and children. Perhaps it's my imposing stature, or perhaps it's because I'm from Dusker.
I doubt animals know anything about the tragedy of Dusker, did you? Still, I think I may know how to solve this little problem of yours.
Oh?
You see, many of the children here have lost homes and families. They tend to be a fearful bunch. And as a large man who is also unnaturally quiet, you cut a doubly scary figure. So all we have to do is show them how not scary you are.
And how do we do that?
tomorrow. I'll have it all worked out by then.
Very well. Done. Here's your flower crown.
Wow, mister. You're just as amazing as Miss Mercedes.
Yeah, this is the prettiest flower crown I've ever seen.
It's like an actual royal crown. Well, make one for me. Please, please, please.
I could, though it would be better to learn how to make your own.
Oh, but my crowns always look all... bleh.
Anyone can do it with enough practice. Well, perhaps not anyone. But if you find it difficult, you can always ask a friend for help.
Fine, I'll try. So how do I start?
Twist the stem there and wrap it once, but gently.
Well, how did it go? They certainly looked at ease around you.
They were indeed, and I owe it all to you.
All I did was brag to them about the magnificent flower crown you made for me.
How very clever.
Oh, please, I barely did a thing. It was your kindness that won them over.
You were the kind one, Mercedes. Thank you.
Miss Mercedes! Mr. Dadu! Look how far I am.
Oh, that's wonderful. Might you teach me how to make one as well, Mr. Dadu?
It would be my pleasure, Miss Mercedes.
Mercedes, good. I need your help.
Felix? Why do you have a cat?
Picked it up?
Yes, I can see that, but... Oh no! Its little leg is hurt! Here, let me have it. I may be able to heal it with magic. There, it should be fine now.
Thanks. Sorry for the trouble.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. Though I must admit, you're the last person I expected to bring me an injured kitten. It reminds me of how my little brother once took in a cat when we were young.
Would that little brother of yours be Professor Yuritsa?
Yes, this was a long time ago, when we both still lived with House Bartels. My brother took in an injured cat, and after it healed, it began living in the mansion. We did our best to feed it secretly so it wouldn't be discovered.
Secretly? What's the big deal with one little furball?
We couldn't let anyone find out no matter what. The people in that house were horrid. Had they learned of the cat, they would have put it in a sack and tossed it in the river. Eventually, my mother and I left House Bartels and never looked back, though we left my brother behind. Still, I've always wondered what happened to that poor little cat.
Animals are smart enough. If the thing felt threatened, it would have taken off.
I suppose you're right.
Anyway, now that you've fixed the cat, I should bring it back to where I found it.
Are you sure? It's clearly taken a shine to you.
Yeah, but I can't keep it. The thing's practically a kitten. What if it has parents that, I don't know, miss it?
Yes, I suppose returning it would be best.
All right, go. Shoo! Come on, get out of here already. Stop rubbing my legs. What is it? You want food? Well, I don't have any.
Ah, that cat really likes him. Animals clearly understand when a kind soul comes to their aid.
Mercedes, do something. This cat won't stop following me.
I'm sorry, but there isn't anything I can do. You'll have to wait until it feels like going home. Goodness, really? Having a cat like you is a good thing. My little brother has always loved cats, but recently they won't come near him, and it just breaks his heart.
I do not understand that man. But regardless, that's not the issue.
Well, so long as you're stuck waiting, we may as well get comfortable and have a nice chat.
You saw one too. Glad it wasn't just me.
There you are, Ash. I've been worried sick about you. You were white as a sheet during our training earlier, and I was concerned you had taken ill.
No, I'm sure that was all just in your head.
That's not your usual carefree smile.
I guess I can't hide anything from you, huh? Truth is, I turned my ankle during practice. Thankfully, it's all right, but... well, it reminded me of the time I saw a ghost when I was a little kid.
Wait, a proper ghost? Oh, what did it look like? Did it say anything? What was it wearing? Oh dear, I'm sorry. I let myself get carried away there. I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
No, it's all right. I can't let myself live in fear of it forever. So on that day, my brother took sick with a fever, and I went into the mountains to look for medicinal herbs. As I was walking along some unstable ground, I saw a large figure in the fog.
And you're sure there wasn't anyone else on the mountain with you that day?
Yeah, I was definitely alone up there. Plus, when I tried saying hello, the figure didn't answer. I knew then and there it was a ghost, and in my hurry to escape, my foot slipped, and I turned my ankle.
Well, it's important to be careful about where you step.
Wait, that's your takeaway? The story doesn't scare you at all?
Not really. If I'm honest, I heard a similar tale some time back. A long time ago, a man on a pilgrimage saw a strange, shadowy figure deep in the Ogma Mountains. He panicked and began to scream, thinking it a ghost or some other manner of evil omen. But in truth, it was none of those things.
Wait, so if it wasn't a ghost, what was it?
It was his own shadow reflected in the mist.
What? Then maybe what I saw was...
I can't say for certain, but it may have simply been a trick of the light.
Oh gosh. I feel silly for being afraid of my own shadow for so many years.
It's quite understandable for you to mistake it for a ghost, especially since you hadn't heard the story about the shadowy figure.
Thanks, Mercedes. That makes me feel a lot better. Hey, but if you have time, you should listen to this guy's story.
Sorry, whose story?
This guy right here. Apparently he saw a real ghost a long time ago.
Ash? You are the only other person here.
What? Come on. He's standing right next... Huh?
You were alone when I found you.
Wait, so you never saw him? What does that mean? Was he,
Thank you for joining me on this moonlit stroll, my dear lady.
Thank you for the invitation. I've always been fond of such nighttime wanderings. The moon and stars are lovely, and there are also certain flowers that bloom only at night.
Count on you to know something like that. You'll have to point me in the direction of those flowers sometime.
Yes, well, what did you want to talk about?
Well, I heard you were getting engaged, and I was just wondering how you felt.
Goodness, someone is well informed.
Well, your fiancé-to-be is a noble from Gautier territory. It's only natural word would find its way to me. Are you going to accept? I mean, I don't think he's a bad guy or anything, but...
No, it's a fair question. However, as my adoptive father backs the proposal, I doubt I have much say in the matter. Though if I did, I'd likely refuse. There's still so much I want to do and experience in this world. Still, I doubt there's much hope of the parties involved relenting.
Why not just turn him down like you do all the other guys?
I've refused so many proposals that my adoptive father has run out of patience. And as he's already initiated the marriage discussions, it would be difficult to back out now.
That lowlife doesn't care about your feelings at all. He just cares about that crest of yours.
We don't choose our bloodline, just like flowers don't choose where to bloom. If being married means I will never know want, then I've no right to complain, even if it is not my preferred outcome. You're much the same, yes? People like us have to try to bloom as best we can.
I never really thought of myself as a flower, but I get what you're saying. Flowers are stuck in the same spot for life, whether they like it or not. And if they happen to sprout in a bad area, they're out of luck. But we have legs, not roots. We can go wherever we want. And we don't have to give up on our dreams, so long as we're clever about it.
I see. And what is your clever solution in this case?
Well, if your only goal is to end negotiations with this guy, I could ask you to marry me instead.
I'm not sure I follow. You would marry me, so I don't have to marry someone else?
To be perfectly clear, I'm not making advances on you or anything. But I'm the heir of House Gautier. If I ask you, this other guy will have no choice but to bow out. Though I doubt he'd be happy about it. After that, you can do whatever you want. Go work at a church, or ladle out soup, or whatever makes you happy. I won't stop you.
But that would prevent you from marrying the person you love.
Okay, look, it's just an idea. You've got lots of options available to you.
You really do know the ways of the world, Sylvain. I've always admired that about you.
The honor of receiving such a compliment from you lifts my feet from the ground. But seriously, let me know if you need any help. I'm always here for you.
What are you doing up so late, Mercy?
I was having trouble sleeping. You too, Annie?
Yup. I'm just so nervous about our battle tomorrow.
Perhaps we should chat for a while to ease our nerves.
That's a great idea. It reminds me of when we were students at the School of Sorcery in Verdiad.
When we shared a room and would stay up chattering until dawn?
Exactly. It feels like that was forever ago.
So much has happened in the meantime. We enrolled in the Officers' Academy, the war began.
But we've stuck together through it all, even after classes were suspended. Of course, I'm so clumsy I felt like I was always getting in people's way while we were there. I couldn't have gotten through all this without you by my side.
And I've relied on you just as much. In fact, it often feels like you're the one who's constantly coming to my aid lately. Remember when I got stuck in that bandit's trap? I thought I was done for, but you came to my rescue.
Well, I wasn't gonna leave you in a bandit trap. Although, I just ended up falling right in and getting wounded myself. I was so desperate to save you, I wasn't paying attention to what was around me. If not for you healing me, I don't know what would have happened.
Well, we worked together and made it back in one piece, so all's well that ends well.
You know, I think we've always been like this. I feel like I can overcome anything so long as I'm with you.
And I feel the same. I hope we will be friends forever.
Oh, for sure! We'll be best friends until we're a couple of wrinkled old grannies. There are so many things I want to do with you, and so many places I want to go. I don't care if we're strolling through Deirdre or just window shopping. Everything's better with you.
I would love to go shopping in the capital, and then later... Say, Annie, why don't we wait to talk about this until the war is over?
What? Why?
Because then we can each write down things we want to do as we think of them, and then show our list to each other afterward. Doesn't that sound fun?
That sounds very fun. We can even compete to see who has the longest list. I'm gonna scribble all my plans down as soon as I get back to my room so I don't forget.
But won't that keep you up longer?
Oh, right. My insomnia. You were so busy chatting, I forgot all about it. Thanks, Mercy. I feel a lot better now.
My sentiments exactly. Good night, Annie. I'll see you tomorrow. Ugh, goodness, but that is heavy.
Could you grab the feed over there, Mercedes?
Yes, of course. Give me one moment, please.
Please, don't push yourself if you're tired. I can do it.
Well, we managed to finish. I'm so sorry for leaving the bulk of the work to you.
Do not worry about it. You are always helping me with so many other things. Besides which, I am used to taking care of horses. It barely even feels like work anymore.
I suppose House Galatea is famous for its Pegasus nights.
Yes, though they are costly to care for, so we don't keep many. When I was a child, I often helped my older brothers tend to both our Pegasi and our horses.
I forgot that you have brothers.
Yes, my eldest brother acts as our father's advisor, while the other serves a different family as a knight.
You must have been very close. It's wonderful.
I suppose, though we hardly ever played together, the age gap was just too great. My eldest brother in particular was incredibly strict with me. Whenever I would try to go horseback riding through the hills, he would say, "How dare you do something so dangerous? What if something happened to you?" What's worse, my father agreed with him. It kept me from getting out on too many adventures as a child. Thinking back on it, I understand their concern. I was the only one in the family to bear a crest, after all.
I'm not so certain your crest was the reason for their concern. I think they were worried simply because they love you. You're the youngest, yes? It's only natural for them to want to keep you safe.
Well, it is true we had a mostly good relationship, but I don't know if I'd go that far.
I'm not so sure. They would have treasured you all the same, even if you didn't bear a crest. Even now, I can't help but want to fuss over my little brother, so I know what it means to be an older sibling.
I hear you, but I still don't see the need to be quite so overprotective.
You protest, but I can tell you enjoyed their show of affection. In fact...
Mercedes? What are you doing?
I'm ruffling your hair, since your brothers aren't around to do it.
That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. Come, we should get back to work.
Whatever you say.
If you fall, pick yourself back up. An enemy won't wait for you to regain your footing.
Yes, Lady Ingrid.
We've been at this for a while now. Let's take a break.
Hello, all. You seem to be doing fine work with your training today. I brought snacks, so please eat up and restore your energy.
Thank you, Lady Mercedes. I'll go tell the others at once.
That would be wonderful. Oh, and I baked plenty, so there's no need to rush. Dig in, Ingrid. We must remember to treat ourselves once in a while, after all.
Thank you. Oh, these are delicious! Of course, I should have expected no less from you. I have been struggling every day for a way to show these girls my appreciation, yet have come up with nothing. But then you waltz in here and pull it off in one fell swoop. Just look how happy you've made them.
You give me too much credit. Children love anyone who brings them sweets.
Still, they are nothing more than bundles of nerves around me. I'm sure they'd feel at ease if only I was as kind and considerate as you.
Oh, I think you're much more important to them than I. All I do is bring snacks on occasion. You take the time to train them every day without fail. I know the only reason you're so strict is so they're ready for what awaits them on the battlefield. Your lessons are their own form of kindness. I'm certain they recognize that.
You have more confidence than I do.
Then let me ask you a question. Do you hate your older brothers?
What? No, how could I? I mean, naturally, there were times where I resented how hard they were on me, but it was never hate. They were simply looking out for me. I'm proud to call them my brothers.
You see? There are many ways to be kind and considerate.
Huh. I think I understand what you're driving at now.
There's no need to force yourself to be someone you're not. Just be yourself. You're already one of the kindest people I know.
But I'm terrible at encouraging people the way you do.
I don't think that's true. But if it really concerns you, you could try acting more like me.
Say, that's actually not a bad idea. In that case, let me dish out the same treatment you gave me the other day. Prepare yourself, Mercedes. It's time for me to show my affection.
Goodness, where could this possibly be going?
Where am I?
Good to see you up and about, Lysithea. How are you feeling?
Mercedes? Why are you... What am I doing here?
You don't remember? You collapsed during training, so I carried you here. Professor Manuela said you were sleep-deprived. You were out for almost half the day, I think.
I slept for that long? No! I have to catch up on everything I missed!
I understand your impatience, but you're still quite pale. Why not stay here and rest a while longer?
Thanks for the concern, but I've rested enough.
That's a shame. I suppose I'll just have to throw out these cookies I baked for you.
Cookies?
Yes, I thought we might share them when you woke up.
Well, I suppose since you worked so hard on them... Wait. Are you taking advantage of my love of sugar?
I only wanted to enjoy some tea and your company. There, see? I was thinking of rainbows when I baked them.
So colorful. How did you get them to look like this?
Oh, just a few special ingredients. It wasn't so difficult.
Now I'm even more curious.
Please try one. I'm certain you'll like it.
Okay, here I go. It's like snow. It just melts in my mouth and leaves the most wonderful aftertaste. This is honestly one of the most amazing things I've ever tasted in my life.
I'm glad you like them. Oh, and there are plenty more, so don't be shy.
Sure, but more importantly... Actually, wait. I need to eat another one first. Okay, you have to teach me how to make these.
Of course. But let's just enjoy the ones we have here first, yes?
No! You have to teach me right now! I have to know!
Oh, I think the tea is ready. Please excuse me for a second.
No! Stop! Don't you dare leave! Can't believe I got so worked up just now. But I really need to know how to make these! Like this? No, it's more like that.
Lysithea, it isn't often I find you in the kitchen.
I could say the same. What are you doing here at this hour?
Oh, I just wanted to bake some treats for everyone.
To improve morale, right? In that case, I'll help. 4 hands are better than 2 and all that.
That would be wonderful. If you could start by peeling this fruit and... Oh dear.
What's wrong?
These fruits have mostly spoiled. I was going to add them for the fragrance, but in this state... Well, it's not like we can go out and buy more, so we'll just have to leave them out.
Just to take stock, what ingredients do we currently have on hand?
Well, we have eggs, flour, sugar, and a very small amount of oil.
Sounds like there's no good substitute for the fruit then. We'll have to get creative.
Do you have something in mind?
I do, actually. If we boil the sugar in a pot...
Thank you, Lysithea. I think everyone will love them. And filling them with that sweet syrup you made was a marvelous idea.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite go-to tricks. But still, I couldn't have done it without you.
Really? I suppose I helped a little, but...
I still dream about those rainbow cookies you made. Ever since I had them, I've spent all my free time researching how to be a better baker. That's actually where I got the idea to make that syrup. So you were more help than you thought.
Oh, but you're always so busy training. Are you sure you're getting enough rest?
Honestly, baking is a nice break. Plus, it's when I'm busy that I need sweets the most.
Well, I'm glad you found your own way to relax.
I still think exercising, studying magic, and daily training are important. But I realize taking breaks every now and then improves my productivity too.
Goodness, you really have changed. You seem more mature now, like a responsible young woman.
I've always been mature, thank you very much.
Well then, maybe you're simply wiser, like a wizened old grandmother.
Not sure I'd call myself... You know what? Never mind. I'll take it as a compliment.
Lysithea, would you like to have another tea party with me sometime? I'd love to try some of your baking for myself.
Sure. I suppose we could do that. Maybe then you'll finally teach me how to make those cookies.
Dear son, I hope this letter finds you well, and that you and your sister aren't fighting too much. It's been some time since I left the church in the kingdom, but I'm making do. Once this war is over, I hope the three of us can live together again. She seems in good health.
Yes, she sent me this letter as soon as I wrote her about being reunited with you. I know she was happy to hear that. She was always so worried about you, you know? We haven't seen you since we left House Bartels, so please go visit her when you have a chance. As you read, we were thinking that after the war is over, we could perhaps reunite.
No.
Why not?
I cannot face her. I killed my father, slaughtered everyone in the house. Our mother shouldn't meet a murderer.
Yes, I heard about that. But I'm certain you took those actions because you felt you had to, right? Just explain it to her. She'll listen to you.
You do not understand. There is a murderous demon in my heart. The Death Knight inside me would cut you and our mother down without hesitation. If that happened, I would lose myself.
But we're here talking right now, and you're just as you always were. You're my little Emile who loves kittens and sweets.
Mercedes. I may be fine now, and perhaps the demon in me will even perish someday. But I cannot live with you until I pay for my crimes. And considering the weight of them, that day may never come.
But...
I seek only to be judged by the law, and thereby atone.
So that's what you've decided, is it? In that case, I have no choice but to support you, no matter how sad it makes me. But just know that Mother and I will always be waiting for you, no matter how long it takes. I look forward to the day when you can show your face to her proudly.
I see.
We might both be old ladies by then. But we'll still be able to talk over tea like always.
Thank you, Mercedes.